Hey everybody in TPG land, welcome to session number 2 of the TPG Lemonade Talks. Ice cold glass of Georgia lemonade here. What are we talking about? Hey, life has given us a little bit of lemons, and we're going to take this time when we're not traveling to learn a little bit about all these programs one at a time. So when the green light is given, it is time to go. You have the skills and the knowledge to book your trips. My name is Richard Kerr. I'm the loyalty and engagement editor for the Points Guide. That means my job is to make sure you're excited about points and miles and everything TPG is doing. Hey, the world's a little bit crazy right now, so I hope you enjoy the next 10 to 15 minutes talking about ANA Mileage Club. This is All Nippon Airways, the Japanese flag carrier. Well, arguably Japan Airlines, but they split the title there in Japan. And this is a really awesome program that I am excited to talk about. A lot going on in TPG world. Make sure that you're staying up to date with all the information. We're publishing 35 to 40 posts a day right now, all about the coronavirus, but also about everything else going on in the travel world. And with that, I'm going to get right into it today. The way these sessions work is I do a lot of screen sharing so that you can physically see what I'm talking about with these program rules. I'm going to talk about how you earn ANA miles, how you redeem the miles, and then we're going to do a few award searches so that you can see how the website works and you get familiar with it. So with that, I'm going to jump right into the screen sharing. You can throw your questions up anytime in the comments. This will also be available for viewing on the TPG YouTube channel on demand anytime in case you're not catching it live. And for everybody tuning in on YouTube, we appreciate it. Let's go right over to the screen share. We're going to throw up a little bit of ANA Mileage Club action over here. And first thing you need to know about this, if you're familiar with the Japanese websites, is there is a lot of information packed onto just a few screens. So if I just do quick scrolls here through my tabs, lots of text, lots going on with everything in the points and miles world. There is no shortcut here. You have to get familiar with these rules and programs. You have to get familiar with this website and know where to find this information. So ANA Mileage Club. What a lovely airline, first of all, ANA is. I lived in Tokyo for about 3 years when I was in the Navy. Flew it all the time domestically and internationally. Just recently, they have upgraded their cabins. Their premium economy, their business, and their new first class cabins are arguably some of the best in the world, if not the best. Look over on TPG and look at our latest reviews to see the pictures of that as well as what we thought about it. But really great. So you're wondering, why am I looking at the United screen? Well, let's talk about how you earn ANA miles. The first thing you can do, obviously, is fly a paid ANA flight, and you're going to earn miles based on the distance and fare class that you're in. Second is you can fly a partner airline like United, who is in the Star Alliance. Right here at the top right, you see Star Alliance. And here's what happens. You take the distance of your flight, you look at the booking fare class, and you're going to get a percentage of the miles flown. And obviously, the cheaper the ticket, the less miles that you're going to earn. But if you are a regular United flyer, and for whatever reason you don't want to collect United Mileage Plus miles, which are still pretty great, then you can credit some of these flights over to ANA. Say you have a specific goal in mind in the ANA program and you want to credit your flights. This is how you look up how many miles that you would earn, including business class. Look, even if you're flying United and you're crediting the ANA discount booking class, is still not even going to earn 100% of miles. So just something to be aware of there. All right. Other ways to earn ANA miles is through American Express. You can transfer American Express membership rewards to your ANA Mileage Club account at a 1-to-1 transfer ratio. In my experience, these are almost instantaneous, but the best way to do this is to set up an awardwallet.com account where it will monitor your ANA account for you. You can do something called Balance Watch on Award Wallet. Shout out to Alexi and those guys over there. And the second that the miles hit your ANA account, Award Wallet will send you push notifications and you can know to go ahead and book. You can also transfer Marriott Bonvoy points at a 3-to-1 ratio, and for every 60,000 Bonvoy points you transfer to ANA, you'll get a 5,000 mile bonus. And last but not least, some of you don't know this, there is a ANA credit card here in the United States issued by First National Bank of Omaha, and it is a subpar credit card as far as earning a lot of miles. I do not recommend getting it or putting spend on it, but it is an option out there. Pretty much you earn 1 mile per dollar. And that's it, and there's not very much of a sign-up bonus, but something not to forget. All right, so looking into a few things once we go over to the redeem side. So that's the earning, Amex, Fly ANA, Fly Partners, transfer from Marriott, or get the ANA card from First National of Omaha. Second, let's talk about redeeming. A few things you need to know when you're redeeming ANA miles. Who can you redeem miles for? Let's go into the program terms and conditions, and right here at the top it says the ANA Mileage Club member, i.e. me in this case, my spouse, same-sex partner, relatives within 2 degrees of family relationship are eligible to use the award. So to separation, however you want to do, what you have to do here is award user registration. You have to physically register these people to make it happen. Again, look how much information, look how many clicks you got to do in Japanese websites. You have to get used to this. Here is a fancy, lovely chart that says who exactly you can use your miles for. So if I have my buddy Tom here who's watching the video, I want to use miles for him, I can't do that. I have to prove that we have a family relationship. You can see I have my wife registered here at the bottom. You want to go ahead and do this now so that if some last minute availability pops up, you're not waiting to register your family members. Make sure you take care of this now. Kids, wife, spouse, if you travel with somebody all the time and they are in your family, you want to go ahead and take care of this. All right, something else with ANA, you have to book round trip tickets, so no one-way award tickets. That can be a bit of a bummer. As I said in the first TPG Eliminated session, I book the majority of my travel on one-way tickets. You can't do that with ANA or ANA partners. It's got to be round trip, so something to think about. And then with that, we're going to go into redeeming miles on ANA flights itself. So ANA Metal, if you're going to hear that term a lot, and if you're a beginner, ANA Metal means you're physically flying an ANA operated flight. The metal of the plane says ANA across it, is what I'm talking about there. And some really attractive award rates here. Really well priced, cost very few miles to fly ANA a lot of places, and they do it based on a region system. So a region award chart, I'm going to show it to you here in just a second, but basically region wide or region X costs this many miles, but they make it a little bit more complicated because they have a low, regular, and high season that you can find here on the website. Again, this stuff is like hidden, so if you see scrolling through this, you're like, holy cow, this is a lot of information. Some of it's hidden, little drop down menu. Here's where you have to go to actually find the low, regular, and high season dates when you're going to be flying ANA, because if you go over to the mileage chart, again, lots of information here. There is a low, regular, and high season for each of these zones, and you need to know the dates that you're flying in based on this calendar here. So 2020, today's March 20th, we are in the regular season right now. So if I looked at the mileage chart, I'm going to be looking, North America regular season, and these prices here in the middle column are what I'm going to be paying. All right, so that's how this works. But if you look at this for just a second, okay, so Japan, ANA's home. You're going to fly to Tokyo, Haneda, or Narita from North America, and right now we're looking, round trip for 50,000 miles. That's round trip, right? That's fantastic. That's great. In low season, it even goes down to 40,000, and then even in high season, we're talking nothing. We're talking 55,000 ANA miles, i.e., 55,000 Amex points transferred to ANA to fly round trip from North America to Europe. You see premium economy rates here. You see business, again, low round trip, 75,000 miles in business class. Arguably the best business class in the world now with their new product. And this program still doesn't get talked about. I'm excited about it. I hope my excitement shows through, because even though this information has been out there for years, people still overlook this mileage chart. If you can just take a look at some of these flying intra-Asia and business class or economy is almost nothing here. Collect ANA miles, collect membership rewards, really consider ANA a spot for your Marriott Bonvoy points. If you want to go to Japan from the US, or even flying on into the rest of Asia, it's still not very much. If you want to go South Korea or Russia 1, again, they have all these notes here down at the bottom that tells you which zones, which cities. They've divided Russia up because it's huge. You got this side of the Ural Mountains in one zone, this side in the other. So just take a look at the footnotes. Again, I'm talking about a lot of information on Japanese websites, very compact. This is every Japanese website, not just airlines. I'm telling you, after my 3 years there, it can be a little bit crazy, okay? So that's basically all you do, and you can book these online. I'm going to show you really quick what it looks like. This is the ANA award search engine. How do you get here? You have to be logged into your Mileage Club account. So you'll see right up there, Mr. Kerr, I have a whopping 0 miles right now, because if I'm going to transfer them to ANA, I'm going to use them. And this little tab right here on the home page, again, this is ana.co.jp English. Not ANA.com, not the US version. This is the Japanese version of the website, just in English. And all I have to do is click the award booking right there. Okay, so a really quick search. I did a little bit of cheating earlier when I did my homework, and I went ahead and found dates that had availability. Let's say we're going to fly from Chicago to Narita, which ANA does daily. We're going to go way out because I don't think anybody is or should be flying close in the next few months. And we're going to look at November. Again, you have to book round trip. a few things to know about this. Always check this box right here, compare seat availability plus or minus 3 days of the date that you put. It gives you a week of availability in one shot, so you don't have to go day by day. Which class do you want to fly in, how many passengers, and then all you got to do is click search, and it's going to come up and show us, hey, which ANA operated flights. Again, this is all ANA metal. This isn't partners. This isn't Star Alliance. This is just ANA flights, so obviously we want to search a route that ANA flies. And you can see almost every single day here, actually every single day, has availability to fly in economy from Chicago to Tokyo and Narita. Now, caveat, I'm going to show you on the next screen when we click through, why this can trip you up a little bit. And it's basically because ANA does the old wait list kind of deal here. So these look confirmed on this date, but some days if I click over, it's going to give you a little tab at the top of these individual flights. Again, you have to click all the way through here, and it's going to show you waitlisted. And that means maybe you get a seat, maybe you don't. Question we get all the time is, hey, when do I know if I clear the wait list? Sometimes it's the day before, sometimes it's a week before. I just don't recommend it, especially if you have to transfer things in, i.e. transfer American Express into ANA. I could never speculatively transfer if I'm only looking at waitlist space. So you see here, and plenty of space right now. Actually, none of it is waitlisted, so wide open. And look at this, round trip, 50,000 miles. Now, another caveat with ANA, the YQ, what we call taxes and surcharges on ANA operated flights, can be a little bit stingy, $268. However, 50,000 miles regular season, if you're only paying 40,000 miles in low season and it's $250, I would use Barclay Arrival Miles or Capital One Miles or anything else that can erase those charges and really make it an affordable way, even for a family to fly a round trip, because they have lots and lots of space. Okay, if you look at the top here, you'll see ANA operated flights in the green. You'll see Star Alliance awards in the black. So this will show me, hey, in this case, look, it's a mixture of United operated flights and ANA. Now, it costs a little bit more miles. Sometimes it drops the fuel surcharges. Sometimes it raises the fuel surcharges. And I'll show you an example of that in a little bit. But this is a fairly intuitive engine as far as award search engines go. It's great that it gives you a week of availability in one shot for both your outbound and your inbound leg. And it's just a really fantastic tool to get used to, even if you're looking for Star Alliance space. But especially, again, going back to the award chart for ANA operated flights, just really attractive prices here. Going back to fuel surcharges, I've written several articles. If you just Google the Points Guy ANA Mileage Club fuel surcharges, sometimes they lower them, then they tack them back on, then they put out a big announcement that says, hey, we're lowering them, and then you go and search one day and they're back, and of course there's no announcement saying they're back. So something to always keep in mind, if you have Amex points, a really great thing to look at here. So let's go back and just talk for a second about everything we've covered, and then I'm going to go into partner redemptions. Earn miles, fly ANA, fly partner airlines, transfer from Amex, transfer from Bonvoy, or get the First National Bank of Omaha ANA card. Bet you didn't know that. Redeem on ANA miles, it's got to be round trip. You need to find the date that you're in to see if it's low, regular, high season. Really attractive award prices. This award chart that I just showed you, which is available on the Mileage Club website, is round trip, believe it or not, for some of these routes, very greatly priced. The award engine is very intuitive. You just have to be careful about those fuel surcharges, as well as making sure that you don't get waitlisted spot. Okay, so with that, we're going to conclude this TPG Lemonade session by talking a little bit about the partner redemptions. All right, so let's make a few notes of partner redemptions as I bring up the partner award chart. Operates the same. It's a region-based award chart. They tell you very clearly which countries are in which region. You can go through and scroll through all of these different points and notes when you're looking to use these miles. Again, you got to get used to some of this stuff. Partner award flights here at the top, and you can see all of our Star Alliance partners that you can redeem miles on, but you can also scroll down and see they're partners with quite a few different airlines. Probably the most popular here would be Virgin Atlantic, because the other way around of using Virgin Atlantic miles to book ANA flights is also a fantastic deal. If you're a beginner, don't get confused. When you start talking about partner redemptions, it can get a little bit confusing, but in this talk I'm talking about, that's what I said. In this Lemonade session, I'm talking about using ANA miles to fly partner awards, but you can also use Virgin Atlantic awards to book ANA flights, which is a great deal if you have Flying Club miles. Etihad, now a little something I would like your help with. In 2017, ANA put out a memo that says, hey, you can no longer use ANA miles to book Etihad flights, and they suspended it. However, if you go into the terms and conditions here, and believe me, there's quite a few. If you look at all these notes, these have very important caveats for booking award flights. But down here at the bottom, it says award reservations made on Etihad Airways will be limited to code share routes between ANA and Etihad. So basically, if you want to fly Etihad from Tokyo to Abu Dhabi, it's saying that you can do that, but in 2017 they put a memo out that said you could not. So I'm not sure where it stands now, and if you try and call ANA, given what's going on in the world, you're going to be waiting on hold, so I could not get that information. But if you know if this memo has been rescinded, would love to hear from you and take a look. But you got to go through and read these things. There's no shortcut to getting great award trips, but I promise you, put an hour, put 2 hours in now, because when you're sitting in business class, when you're sitting in first class, or when your whole family is sitting in economy, that jet bridge pulls away and you start to feel the tug push you back, and you realize that you paid nothing for these flights because you put the time in. Now, there's just no better feeling. Every single time I'm sitting in business class on a award ticket, still been doing this, 7 or 8 years now, they pull the jet bridge back, and before we push back, I always feel like the flight attendant's going to come up and say, Mr. Kerr, we know you didn't pay for this flight. You can't do what you're doing. Please follow us and get off our plane, right? It feels like it should not be illegal what we do, but put the time in now so you can have that feeling and make it happen. Lots of things here. You can talk about stopovers and open jaws. I could talk about mileage plan for a whole hour session, but we're not going to do it. But make sure you read the notes. Make sure you see the caveats for each of these individual partners. But that's what you need to know. The partner chart, again, really great. If you're looking Zone 6, which is the U.S. here defined, and you want to go to Europe, which is Zone 7. Zone 6 to Zone 7, you're talking 55,000 miles round trip in economy to Europe, 88,000 miles round trip in business. That's 88,000 miles round trip business class from the U.S. to Europe using ANA Mileage Club. Why doesn't this get talked about more? I've been saying it for years. Please go ahead and take a look at this. Here's the one thing you need to be aware of. Fuel surcharges when using ANA miles. Some airlines have huge fuel surcharges. Some airlines have none. So the airlines that do not give you fuel surcharges when you're flying to Europe, or if you're flying elsewhere on Star Alliance, is Air Canada, Air China, Air New Zealand, Turkish, and United. Air Canada, Air China, Air New Zealand, Turkish, and United. If you use ANA Mileage Club miles to book those tickets, you're not going to pay fuel surcharges, and you're going to find awesome routes at very low miles. If you just take a look, again, study the award chart. We don't want to spill all the secrets, but I want people to talk about it. It's really fantastic. I'm going to do one partner award chart here for you. Again, really easy on the ANA Mileage Club. We're going to go Chicago to Paris. This is the same award search engine as if you were searching ANA miles. And we're going to do a little economy action going on here. This is Chicago to Paris. It'll go ahead and pull up the options. This was November 1st to November 8th, so looking out into the fall right now. It gives you this little thing here. And look, every single day of the week, I'm telling you, there's a lot of badness going on in the world. There's a lot of terrible things. I wish everybody the best. But if you're looking forward over the horizon, if you want to get out of the bad things now and look, this availability is just incredible that we're seeing pop up. When the world gets going again, when everybody's safe and sound and we can start traveling, I think there are great deals that are out there waiting for us. So let's see what individual flights here. And I want to talk about fuel surcharges, and then we're going to end at TPG Lemonade session number 2. Again, available for viewing on the YouTube channel, TPG YouTube channel, anytime you'd like. Takes a little bit of time. Imagine all the flights that it has to search through, transatlantic routes with Star Alliance and other partners. Also, my TPG Lemonade. Good stuff. You have to be really nerdy to have a liking for this level of knowledge, but like I just said, it's always worth it when you can come up with these kinds of trips. So here are the options. Star Alliance, Chicago to Paris. This is nonstop, operated by United Airlines. Return, also operated by United Airlines. Remember, you must book round trip. And what do we have here? 55,000 miles and only $84. So no YQ, or what we call surcharges, that are instituted on United transatlantic flights. This is a great deal. 55,000 MX points. Go ahead, fly round trip. But here's what happens if you pick the wrong airlines that I didn't list out. So this has a Lufthansa flight operating on the outbound, and on the return, it also has Lufthansa, and you're going to see, whoops, jumps all the way up to $470.84 because you're not paying attention to the flights that you book. So you need to be aware of that. Let's drop it back down here on the same page. That's better. 387 up 84.58, the best. Okay, so Turkish, Air China, Air New Zealand, Air Canada, United, no fuel surcharges when you're flying. Lots of fantastic routes. and pricing here on the partner reward chart. Spend some time with ANA so that you get used to that. And I hope that was a great introduction to the ANA mileage plan. Whether you knew everything, whether you knew nothing, there's a lot more information to dig in here and do some amazing routes. If you know if you can still book Etihad with ANA miles, I would love to know it. Or if you have any other partner recommendations or sweet spots, please put them in the comments. With that, I hope everybody has a great weekend. It's Friday when we're recording this today. We're going to be doing this 2 to 3 times a week at noon in the TPG Lounge. Make sure you connect with us there. If you want to watch it live and answer questions, it's my pleasure to present this information, hopefully take your mind off of it. Life gave us a little bit of lemon today. We made some lemonade with the ANA Mileage Club program, and I'm looking forward to sending all this great information out over the coming weeks as we get used to maybe what we're calling the new normal. I don't know. Great to see everybody. Appreciate it. Until next time, TPG Lemonade Sessions.